perform one extra step when installing it. The stove bar mark can be identified by a hump in your material. In order to get the piece to adhere to the wall securely, you'll need to apply adhesive to not only the wall, but also to the section of material affected by the stove bar. Spread adhesive to the jute backing at the stove bar mark using the flat edge of the trowel or a large putty knife. This will create a much stronger bond between the material and the wall. Once both surfaces have had adhesive applied, position the piece in place and thoroughly roll out the stove bar. Apply a great deal of pressure to the roller to be sure the adhesive is solidly compressed between the two surfaces, giving proper transfer of adhesive. There are several options for creating seams between each piece of Tac-Wall. The decision on what type of seam you choose needs to be made prior to your installation. We have demonstrated the butt seam throughout this video. Other options include the routed seam, which is created by cutting a groove in the seam using a hand router or groover. Another option is the painted gap seam. Prior to your installation, you need to apply the color that will show through the gap. The width of the gap can be set by using a piece of scrap material or even specially designed spacers. Creating a seam using wood trim in between each piece of Tac-Wall is another attractive option. T-molding, J-trim, or H-bar can also be inserted between each piece, but again, you must pre-set the space using a piece of whatever molding you decide as a spacer between each piece of material. These are a few of the more commonly used seam treatments for installing the Tac-Wall tackable wall surface. The installation methods we have demonstrated here are full floor-to-ceiling coverage. However, if you have an area you'd like to apply the Tac-Wall to, but not from floor to ceiling, you can perform a horizontal application, also referred to as a railroad installation. To perform this method, simply follow all the procedures for surface and material preparation described earlier. Once you've covered each of these steps and you're ready for installation, nail or screw a decorative molding to the wall at the bottom of the desired height. The molding should be shaped so that the 1/4 inch Tac-Wall is cupped and supported during installation. Remember, vigorous rolling is critical to ensure proper adhesive transfer. When installation is complete, similar molding should be applied to the top and sides to decoratively frame the Tac-Wall. For minor repairs, such as gouges, dents, or cuts, there's a method called hoofa-doofa. We won't go into where the name comes from, but if you need a repair, this is the trick. First, you'll need a scrap of the material used so the color matches. Using your utility knife, scrape along the surface, creating fine particles. Once you've scraped up enough for your repair, you'll need some white Elmer's glue and mix it together with your scrapings. Mix well enough to form a putty-like consistency. Take your finger and press the mix into the dent or gouge and smooth it out. You can also use a putty knife for smoothing. Once it's in place, use a damp rag to wipe off any excess and clean around the area. Good as new. There are other applications that have created illustrations using various colors of Tac-Wall and special installation techniques. Who knows? Once you've gotten the hang of it, you may create a few new ones of your own. Be sure to let us know if you do. Maybe you'll be in our next installation video. In closing, there are just a few points to remember. A clean work area and an even cleaner application surface is critical. Let the adhesive set, but don't let it dry. Installing too wet is better than too dry. When using the wall roller, put your weight into it. Don't just go through the motions, make it stick. Poor adhesive transfer is one of the most common problems and one of the most difficult to fix, so do it right the first time. Only use soap and water when cleaning and caring for Tac-Wall, and it will give you years of satisfying performance. If you have any questions regarding the condition of your material, please contact the place of purchase before proceeding with the installation. Thank you for your interest in Tac-Wall, and good luck with your installation.